We find ourselves in Midland, the only known habitable land left, at least as far as we know. Back before history began, there were three races: the Jotun, or giants, the elves, and the gods. The few families of the gods, led by the World Father, Skjala, started a war in order to push the giants out of Midland and into the south. This long and bloody war ended when the first giant, Ymir, was slain by Skjala using the World Father's legendary spear, Jotun's Bane. After the giants were pushed back, and the elves fled to the Elderwood to hide and isolate, the gods decided that it was time to populate their newly taken lands with the various mortal races. Skjala and his kin created all of the races that you know today: dwarves, humans, halflings, etc. This led to a time of unknowable prosperity and invention among the mortal races. In what we are told was an unprecedented leap in technology, mortals were inventing skyships, automatons, devices that manipulated the very laws of physics themselves. This, however, made some of the gods spiteful. The gods had sequestered themselves in a city which floated above the peak of the tallest mountain, the city of Tavarheim. Separated from mortal kind, the mortals in question had stopped much of their worshipping of the gods. They found that their invention was all they needed to move forward. The supernatural would never carry them as far as their own ingenuity could, and this enraged certain gods. A conspiracy amongst the divine was hatched, and a plan set in motion. The daughter of Skjala, a god named Presa, was sent by this secret group to open up a gate that connected the poles of the world to the afterlife. The Hellgate. This Hellgate was connected to Daudheim, the realm where the dead go to rest. Daudheim was said to be so cold that even the gods could not survive their winds. Presa would open this gate and let the hell winds into Midland so that the mortals' only option would be to flock back to the gods, as their civilizations would be devastated by the freezing cold and the legions of the undead, Draugr. But the cold did not consume the world, for as Presa saw the true level of destruction that was caused by this, she knew that her co-conspirators were wrong. She resigned herself to trying to close shut the Hellgate, but the winds were too strong. Even now, the only patches of livable land left are there thanks solely to Presa holding the gate closed as best she can. Only a crack remains in the door to Daudheim now, and that is all that saves us from certain death to the cold. "1,000 years after the Hellgate was opened, a few civilizations are left around the moderate climate at the equator, connected by the Blizan Road, while villages to the north and south fight the ever-encroaching cold and everything it brings with it. In the north, the monsters of the old world, bolstered by adaptations to the cold and sometimes even the necromantic energies of the hell winds of Daudheim. In the south, mortals stand guard in case the Jotun ever come back for their land. The remaining cities are mostly led by the gods which left Tavarheim when their mountain was consumed by the permafrost of Daudheim. It is said that Skjaldar, son of Skjala, and defender of mankind, wanders the northern villages, fighting off the biggest and nastiest threats to Midland. War brews between the remaining mortal cities as resources grow scarce. Whispers of the return of a Jotun chief named Surtur rumble in the south. Some are resigned to making the most of this new cage of ice that we find ourselves in, while others look for ways to push back the frost. There are even those who would venture out into the frozen wilds to the north to dig through the ice and uncover the inventions of old which have been lost to the colds of the never-ending winter.